And we are back live again here at the Astro with the final game in the Andriez Shield A Division for tonight. It's RCHC A versus CR&FC A, a great game. And like I said, we do have some foreign talent on display here as well. Watch out for number 30, Harshdeep. We just saw him getting the jersey from the RCHC manager, Sasanka Gunawardena, before the game. So it's great to see him on there. You can't miss him. He's the Turbanator on the pitch. Now in number 30. He's the only man with a turban. That should give it away for you. CR&FC, of course, also having some more stalwarts. Sati is leading them, obviously, wearing the number 12 jersey. Anushanga, Nalaka, Bandara, Krishanta, Dinesh, Akram, and of course, we have Ranga, Anushka, and Yanit, Kamil, Udit, Oshila, Shanta. So, great team, CR&FC, facing up against the Royal College Hockey Club team. Dylan, Tanvir, Gaje, Neluka, Palul, Kevindu, Revisha, Sampath Subasinghe, number 14, 49 years of age, still playing in the A Division, ladies and gentlemen. Watch out for him for some magic. And of course, Nadit Kudagama, number 9. Once again, same vintage, still playing up there. Manjita, Pasindu, Mundu, Sharala, and Wasim, the reserve goalkeeper, and Harshdeep, number 30, making up the numbers there. Harshdeep is playing a central midfield kind of role, managing the midfield defense, holding them, making sure he's controlling the game. Yes,
straight away that misplaced pass is stolen by that man in the number 25 for Royal, and they end up drawing the first foul, and CR have committed the first mistake in this clash.
Absolutely right, and they celebrate. Sampath Subasinghe, Falul, everyone getting ready. Sarala coming up along with Harshdeep, so they have a very good opportunity for the battery. Number 25 is yet to see the face. I don't think it's a number 25 that is on the card. Is it Wasim? It seems to be Wasim. As we have the injection coming in. Harshdeep set up as the first battery, back up by Sarala. Dylan there for the first battery stop. Let's see how this one goes. Not the best of injections by Harshdeep. CR come away with it.
Yes, CR now trying to be quick on the counter, but the Royal defense very alert. Straight back up from that attacking position, and they've played exceptionally well here to prevent any sort of threatening CR counter, but it's still the men in red with the ball, but now stolen away by Royal, and they'll look to launch an attack of their own down that left-hand flank.
Yes, here comes Wasim injecting some pace on the left-hand side there, making some great inroads, not being able to go in. RCHC having the pace with Wasim and Harshdeep, obviously being the international players, if I'm not mistaken, who are taking the field today for them. As they come back, Sube there trying to get the ball. One of the fairest players I know on the pitch. Definitely not someone to foul another player. As he comes up, Sharla comes up to defend it, and the ball is raised up, and it's collected once again. As we have RCHC coming up, not finding a way through, looking up, but forgetting that the defender was just a bit too close, as here comes Harshdeep to defend.
Yes, now CR struggling to get out of their own half really in these opening exchanges. Royal well and truly applying the pressure, and that's a vicious ball into the D, but too much power on it for the man lurking there to try and get a shot away. But yes, the Royal College well and truly have started this game on the front foot, Tushar.
Absolutely right. Yeah, that was Wasim trying to get the ball across to Sampath, who's now the number 14 and getting up to defense. So I think it's CR now trying to make the most of it as they come away with Anushanga, who pushes the ball out wide, bit of it, and Wasim collects the ball. Harshdeep in the center. We have Dylan waiting in support. Ball out to Harshdeep, who tries to make his way through the defense, threads in a lovely ball, a reverse stick attempt, just clear in the top of the crossbar. Once again, great ball in, great movement in, great vision by Harshdeep to get the ball in, but the shot once again going just a little bit over the head of the player. I think that was Falul.
Yes, direct ball by Royal.
Yes, that's right. So once again, CR come away with their number 15 on Shanga. Ball is out. Number 4, Krishanta collecting the ball, pushing it down the line. As CR try to come away with this as much as possible. Here comes Krishanta again, delivering the aerial ball up front.
Yes, Royal College have committed a lot of players, Tushar, into that midfield area, not allowing CR to try and make those quick shifts. We saw even then CR were trying to launch a counter-attack, but unfortunately only 2 of their runners were able to make their way into the RCHC half.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, that ball just misdirected there, not seeing that shuttle was out wide and just going through those CR defenders. We saw Lasit earlier, Manchi as is known, defending very well at the back. That's the tall, lanky player on the left-hand side of the pitch. So they have a very good defensive lineup as well, and they've managed to mark the players out at well. And you see Dami also on the right-hand side. Pandi as is known, also a very, very good defensive player. Incidentally coaches the Royal College senior side as well. So good. That's him right now in the picture, shadowing back, marking the players.
Yes, and CR with their first bit of possession in that attack in 25 for them, but unfortunately ball just beating the player.
So Nelly to Dami to Harshdeep. Ball being passed out and Harshdeep comes away, gives the parallel pass out once again to Dylan. The ball, great ball out there to Wasim. Here he comes, Wasim, with a little bit of pace. Manages to inject the ball. Unfortunately, not controlled by Charles out there. The great injection of pace by Wasim on that left-hand side. That's the one to watch for. So Harshdeep and Wasim need to be able to work with the current RCHC boys who are there and make this play count for them. Here comes CR once again on the counter. Making it into the D. Great shot inside, and against the runner play, they managed to pull a goal back. Well played there. Defense in tatters as far as RCHC is concerned. Great ball in, collected, quick tap between the legs. Defense way out of position. So CR&FC come up on top, 1-0 against Royal College Hockey Club A.
Yes, Royal just guilty of being out of position there in defense. Allowed that man to come from the left-hand side unmarked to that far post, and once again Harshdeep misplacing that pass. And CR, as you said, Tushar, against the run of play have taken an early advantage. But what's interesting to note when comparing with the other games that we've had today, this has been far more intense, far more end-to-end. Both teams playing with freedom and playing with a lot of heart as well.
There we have the referees, umpires in contention. Number 4, Pasindu really needs to be on the ball, on the man-to-man marking. Pandi is doing his job at the back. Pasindu needs to move with the man, make sure that the white player doesn't get into positions that can cause a threat to see RCHC A goal. As we see them backtracking, once again Pasindu's up on the defense, leaving Dami to cover at the back. And here they come again. CR&FC move the ball back to their number 17, and that is Bandara. Once again collected by Dami and over to Harshdeep, and here comes Harshdeep through the middle. Players to the right and left of him, needs to manage, control it. Once again a bit too much of chutzpah on that ball. It's a play on situation, they need to mind that. Here comes Halal. Pasindu on that number 20 for Sajuta, as CR&FC control it well at the back. Here comes RCHC trying to pressure them up front. So again, quick passes, moving it away from the players. Manchi needs to get back in defense. Harshdeep coming back to support. Unfortunately, the shot going wide. Once again, the player on the left there making his way. That's a danger for RCHC because they are leaving that left side open. Somebody needs to support Damit Pandi on that side, with Pasindu tracking back with that player. Here comes Harshdeep playing forward once again.
Stolen by CR. Here's that man in the number 10, but unfortunately Harshdeep once again in a good position to make that interception, and now RCHC trying to turn defense into attack. Unfortunately, pass is misplaced once again. And
Yes.
it's now CR's ball.
Yes. Falul and Harshdeep in close quarters there. And Wasim is now taking up the center, trying to prevent the ball. Pasindu needs to move with this player, the number 9. Manages to get a good tackle in. That's great defense there by Pasindu on the right half position for RCHC. And we have CR&FC now trying to come away. Stolen by Wasim. Unfortunately, no control. Sandun Gajanayaka tries to win the ball back. And there's a quick call out by the referee. And it's a green card to Sandun Gajanayaka for a bit of a stick check. Experienced player who has done great duty at Mercantile and obviously at senior national level. Very experienced player, unfortunately making a mistake in that situation. Clear green card. So lucky that it's not any other color at this point in time for RCHC. They can ill afford to have lesser players. Needs to look at where he's looking at, needs to be aware, game awareness, player awareness, positional awareness, sticks on hand, sticks on the ground, looking and wondering what's happening is not really going to help you. CR&FC now seem to be getting a little bit more coherent. So the shape of the team is what matters and they need to manage it. And here comes Dami with one of his signature clearances to Falul. Has Sube on his left. If he's willing to give it to him, Sube has enough vision and time to just once again look at giving it out. Manages to get it back again. Unfortunately, not enough control. Should have looked at giving it to Falul. As an initial, this thing, the 1-2 was always on there. And here comes CR once again on the break. So Manchi being able to get the tackle on. Ball is with Harshdeep. Looking for options, looking for opportunities. Trying to make his way through. And the penalty, the shot is given. Free hit is given. Huge ball down the field. Unfortunately not corrected by Wasim. It comes great aerial ball right to the left corner. Yeah. Unfortunate stick check there by the number 10 for CR&FC. That's Nalaka. Yes. Here he is with the ball once again, going down that right flank with his players in support. There's an opportunity for CR again on the counter. Once again, great tackle by Nelly. Out to Manchi and Harshdeep. And the ball is nicely tracked back by Harshdeep. I think one of the things that RCHC needs to be mindful of also is distribution of the ball. In situations where you have two foreign players, we have seen this tendency in other sports where your reliance sometimes is on the foreign players to make the play. And the foreign players also tend to be more imposed upon the game than sometimes the other players are. So I think finding that balance is going to be key for RCHC as well in this experiment and in this tournament and in this endeavor to introduce foreign players into the side.
Yes, sir, definitely. We've already seen on a couple of occasions there CR committing 2 or 3 defenders onto Harshdeep. He's playing in that role, like you said, that distributor's role to try and spray the ball to his forwards. But once again, ball just allowed to run out of play. But yes, Harshdeep appears to be that glue that's holding the RCHC side together, committing 4 to 5 defenders, another 3 to 4 attackers, and it's all running through him. He's been that focal point. So CR have done well to shut him down over the last few minutes and not allow him to get that pass in range that he would have liked.
Yeah, and the other crucial part is Harshdeep and Wasim in combination. If Harshdeep is primarily targeting Wasim, I think that will soon be also read by the CR&FC. Mario is a very astute reader of the game, so he'll be able to read that very early on and pass that message on to his players, as is his captain who is playing here today, Sati. So they know the team game very well, and now they are putting on the quick changes, and we have Sube coming off and Kuda going in and Sarla coming on for Falul as they try to now inject a little bit more pace. Kuda with his experience in central up front is going to be key. And here we have Dylan taking the ball again. A bit of a dead scoop. He needs to be mindful of that and also working with what he has got. Better control, better distribution is the name of the game for RCHC at this point in time, which CR&FC seem to be doing. Unfortunately, that doesn't go to hand. Here comes Nadit Kodagama, one of the best dribblers that this country has probably ever seen as well. Played the game for Sri Lanka at a very young age of just 16 plus. So great player. And here comes Wasim out to Harshdeep. Wasim and Harshdeep combining now. Looking like they are going to be in a situation to look at this whole. Just getting too much of an angle on that one. Once again, great skill shown by Harshdeep. Should have looked for the man on the inside when the angle was closing down. There needs to be some support from Royal RCHC right at the top of the D as well. There was nobody there for the pullback. So they need to be mindful of that. Well read by Pandi. Once again, the aerial ball, well read.
Yes, you saw the Harshdeep choosing to have a little walk in the park from his midfield role, and what a dribble that was. And like you said, the other men rushing onto that far post to try and tap it in, but should have had the vision to spot that pass.
Absolutely right. Well read there. Unfortunately, you can't complain about that. He just pulled that aerial ball down onto his own foot, resulting in a penalty corner in a non-pressure situation. Hoping to get away with it, hoping to dribble away from it, but well read there by the umpires. So Royal College now have a penalty corner. The Royal College Hockey Club A. We have once again Nadit Kudagama, Sharala, Dilan, Harshdeep and Gaje in support, and Wasim to do the injection. So it's an opportunity for them, and then there's going to be a quick this thing. It's a 15-minute mark, and once again RCHC as well employing the same tactic as CH, bringing all their players up to create more doubt for the defending team, because this is already done time, probably the last play of the game. Everyone bar the goalkeeper is out. Goalkeeper was already making his way off the ground by the looks of it for RCHCA. Here we go. Where's he going to go? Guesses it's Harshdeep. Dilan to stop. And Harshdeep to take the drag flick. Deflection. Cleared. And Falul. Halaj. Falul and Tanvir both playing in this game. Opportunity goes up again.
But the referee had already blown his whistle, and tempers flare in here at the Astro turf. My, that's quite the controversial call. The referee going into his pocket as well, but
he's gone for the green card. Dinesh Karan, experienced umpire. Let's see what happened here.
The ball went into the net, but as you see there, the referee was already had his whistle in his mouth when that was flicked on into the net. So Royal, although they do have the right to protest, I think, and it's quite harsh towards them as well. But by default and by the technicalities, that goal will be ruled out. But this moment will be one that is talked about for some time, Tushar.
Absolutely right. So it was a controversial situation, but at the moment we do not have the luxury of TV umpire or the fourth official in hockey in Sri Lanka. Hopefully that will come up in an upcoming tournament that's due in August, which is being looked to introduce. But had that been the case, perhaps the decision would have changed, perhaps in favor. However, be that as it may, the scoreline stands at CR&FC A leading Royal College Hockey Club A by 1-0 at the end of the first quarter here at the AstroTurf. The game is being played as part of the league tournament for the Andriez Shield. So RCHCA with their foreign firepower have all to play for in the next 3 quarters. But to keep their head in the game and their cool and be in control of all that is going on, ensure that they keep their cool. And they have enough and more talent right now to on the pitch to make sure that they make the best of this.
Yes, going into this second quarter, Tushar, Royal will be keen on trying to get a score. They were the more threatening side in that first quarter, but luckily for CR, they have some absolutely lightning quick forwards, and they've been able to ask some questions on the counter and ended up with a goal as well. And that was due to a lack of awareness though by the RCHC defenders. But still, CR are in this game, and they are in this game solely because of that front line of theirs and their speed. But if not, it's been quite the dominating display from RCHC so far. And you could say they're rather unlucky to not have a score on the board after the first 15 minutes.
That's absolutely right. So they need to make this game time count. They need to get the ball into the right place. Once again, well read by Pandi as he brings the ball up. Passing it out to Kuda. As Kuda takes it forward. Nice little flick pass through. Unfortunately, stopped illegally by the CR&FC player. The ball is overturned. It's an RCHC ball. And Wasim takes the ball away. Here he is making his way in. Runs into a defender. This is once again game awareness. Here comes CR on the counter.
Yes, like we were saying, now CR able to commit a few more players forward, and they'll be looking for that incisive ball. But does RCHC to man mark them on that left hand flank. And just off your camera, there's a couple of runners coming into the D, but still plenty of numbers committed in defense for Royal.
Yeah, the number 23 doesn't seem to be on the team card that we have received so far, but here comes Harshdeep, gets the ball away, great one-handed control, quick turn, but unfortunately gets tackled in the process. And here comes CR with their number 9, that's Janit. Janit makes the ball into the D. Once again, that opening, that floating player up front not being marked by the back three of Royal. Pandi, Pasindu and Manchi, all three failing to get their hands on him. Here comes Ashdeep once again, out to Charla. Loses control of the ball. Charla really needs to track back now. Quick ball in, defended in, horrible situation. Thankfully, the goalkeeper has the sense to come out. That may be Manjita. Not too sure which one is in the goal right now for RCHC. And they somehow managed to clear their lines. RCHC needs to settle. Here comes Pandi at the back. He's got one of the Haraj brothers on the outside. I think that's Tanveer. Chooses instead to go to Manchi on the left. Manchi looking for an opportunity to pass. Gets it forward to Dilan. Yes, players in support. Wasim manages to get away from one. He's in charge of the whole ball. Again, a very difficult angle to get a shot on goal. A very difficult angle to get a shot on goal. That's the captain for CR&FC, Chatu, being cautioned and actually sent in for a bit of a cooling off period with a green card. Yeah.
Yes, but Wasim looking really threatening for RCHC.
Yeah.
Lightning fast and quick ball across the face of the goal. Unfortunately, hasn't gone in.
Sorry, that was Sati, the captain for CR&FC. So Sati is a linchpin of their defense as well. So they need to be mindful of this going in. Gaje has been brought back into the feed-up play. We have Sharala and Sube. Good role in substitutions being used by RCHC, but not really being able. Great work by Manchi. Pass the balls to Harshdeep, and Harshdeep goes for the quick aerial ball into the D. Player is there to defend ably. So very well done there by the veteran player for CR&FC, Kamil. Playing well as CR&FC come away with quick ball once again out to the top. Pandi manages to intercept the ball in the nick of time. Once again, that floating player on the left almost hurting RCHCA as they come forward again. The number 15 making another unforced error for CR&FC, that Anushanga. Here comes Wasim once again, getting the ball in several times, getting the ball right across the D, and he goes back out again to bring the ball back. Needs to make sure that
his referee now going into his pocket. Tempers flaring between him and Wasim and RCHC. It's important that they don't lose their cool here. Shouldn't talk back to the match officials, and Wasim,
yeah, I think Dinesh
testing the patience of the umpire on that occasion and been sent to the bin for the next few minutes.
Karan has been very harsh on these players and probably instilling some discipline, ensuring that there's no back chat and that he's not being dictated to by the players. I think he's his way of looking at this whole piece. Here he comes once again. Janit with the ball in hand. Ball is overturned. I think tempers are going to be very important in this overall game as Manchi leaves it to Harshdeep, and Harshdeep takes the ball up. Here he comes down the line once again, pulling it back, lifting it up, losing control of the ball, unfortunately giving it away, and CR&FC come away with their number 20, Sachinta. Sachinta once again a quick one-on-one. Great tackle there by Nelly. Nelaka has done a great tackle, but unfortunately he's done his hamstring in by the looks of it. in the process. Nelly on the right hand usually is a brilliant defender. Unfortunately overstretched. Definitely done his hamstring in by the looks of it. Look at this. It was all or nothing. It was money. He had the shot on. If not for that tackle, but unfortunately overexerted himself and pulled his left ham.
Yes, put in his body, giving everything are these players for their clubs. And yes, unfortunately, that's not what you want to see. Whether you are a CR fan or an RCHC fan, it's players going down injured. But luckily, he's back up on his feet. But I don't think he'll be able to take further part in this game. And it's another blow to RCHC. And CR still clinging on by the skin of their teeth. About halfway into this second quarter.
Yeah, it looks like Pasindu will have to step into that right back position along all with Dami Pandi coming in there. They really need one more player on that right hand side. Pasindu has been a right half by trade most of his game. So he should be able to step into the back there. Quick ball in. Deflected off. So CR&FC has that. Good to see the ball coming in. Deflected out again. So another one being given. They really need to watch that roaming forward. Still to read his number, the number 20, that's Sachinta. He's the one who's a danger for them. His movement is not being monitored. Not 5 is the call. And Harshdeep now has the ball. Sends a quick ball out. A bit too quick for anyone in contention to collect that ball. And the ball comes back after a deflection as Sharla collects it on the 25. Tries to take it in against the CR players. Puts the ball in. It's deflected out. So it's another long corner.
Yes, Royal RCHC are playing this game at pace, aren't they, Tushar? They are really not allowing CR any time to think, any time to reposition themselves. They are exerting that pressure. And
absolutely. A rare sight. The two brothers, they are in close tandem. Tanveer and Falul Halaj. Here we come. Number 11. Falul does not collect the ball. I'm sorry, Tanveer does not collect the ball cleanly. Goes out. Rare to see these two playing together most of the time. Lots of friendly rivalries between these two players. Harshdeep injects the ball out wide. They try to pump back with Sharala through the defense. Ball is let loose. Harshdeep pushes it out to the left. Nobody there. He's looking for the player. He's looking for the space. But Wasim has already headed in towards the goal. So nobody out there to collect as they try to control the game. So I think Nadit Kudagama can bring his experience to bear in this kind of situation and help control the game a little bit more from the front as well.
Yes, I feel it might help RCHC if they just try to slow things down just a tad. They are playing, I feel, with a lot of enthusiasm, and their enthusiasm is what's getting the better of them. Just not in the right place to orchestrate those moves. Absolutely. And they clearly have the advantage over CR, so I don't think it would hurt them to try and slow things up a little, Tushar.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And they've got a new player in at number 21 out on the left, I believe, on the right in place of Nelly. Good to see how he fares in that right back position. Here comes Nadit Kudagama, working his magic, working his way through and earning the penalty corner. Absolutely earning the penalty corner. That's the skill even at 49 years of age that you see in him. Look at the speed of stick, look at the speed in which he beats the defenders, gets through them, manages to get onto them as fast as possible and taking the dive just at the right time.
It's an excellent play there by Kudagama, and RCHC will have their first penalty corner of this second quarter, and they'll be licking their lips here, especially Harshdeep. Wasn't successful with the connection on the previous few occasions, but they'll want to try and get a score on the board and try and get their due reward for all the pressure that they have been sustaining for majority of this game so far.
Might be a good dummy move to let it go through to Kuda and get Kuda to work right and manage this shot, but you never know. Direct shot on goal. Once again, well kept out by the goalkeeper for CR&FC.
Yes, a vicious shot on that occasion from Harshdeep, and Royal have once again taken it quickly. So they continue to relentlessly play this game at pace and drawing another penalty corner.
Absolutely right. Great call there by Dinesh Karan again against Nalaka this time. for not collecting the ball cleanly and mixing up his sports a little bit and getting it onto his leg. So once again, we have the full battery, a great battery to have if you are RCHCA. So they'll be looking for the players to come out, and they have. It's good to see that CR&FCA is using protective gear, and that's something that we always encourage that they have, because as you can see, these shots are very vicious, and to have the face guards and every possible equipment is something that they should encourage at a division level. Here it comes. Different player to take the shot. Unfortunately, the deflection not quite working. Great attempt there, Charler on the left there. After the injection, you see him moving right across to the goal. Shot coming in right, just not getting his stick down in time.
Yes, unfortunate, unlucky on that occasion for RCHC. A lovely set move by them, but it's still them on the attack with Wasim one-handed on that left-hand side. But again, the runners just getting a bit ahead of themselves on that occasion and losing their position, losing their cool, and not in a position to collect that pass.
Yeah, I think that's the understanding that you need to work on as players as well. Understanding that you need to position yourself, and when you've been playing together for a long time, it works. And that showed especially in that BRC game that we saw earlier today. But when new elements are introduced into the team, while they may have the best skill set in the world, the composure or the composition of the team sometimes can get affected, and that's something that RCHC will need to work out pretty soon in this tournament if these players are to make the impact that they are expecting them to play.
Yes, definitely. But that's something that will hopefully fade away as we grow into this season. Still only week 2 as RCHC with some possession and into the D now. Here's Harshdeep tried that long shot. But CR doing well to scramble in that defense, and now they'll try to be quick on the counter. But ball is passed straight back to Harshdeep. So Royal relentless.
Look at the skill on this player. Great skill. Unfortunately, the last pass really not going to this thing as the ball dribbles out of play, and it's obviously going to be a RCHC ball as Dylan injects the ball into the field of play. They need to work to their right. Still trying to figure out who the number 21 for RCHC is. Not on the team card as per what we have seen, but I'm sure he's there as a player. We can catch a glimpse. Here comes Fandi from the back. Sends the ball in. Deflection. I believe that's a long corner. That is a long corner because that was deflected last off a defender. So they have the long corner opportunity. Now that kind of injection at pace is something that they require. Unfortunately, a miss hit by Pandi. That should have made greater work. Now they are exposed at the back, so Pandi really needs to track back really fast. This is exactly where they are going. They know that he's there, but the number 21, the young player who has come onto the field, has done just enough to deter them, and he gets the ball out as fast as possible to Harshdeep. Harshdeep now tries to settle it, looks for the ball, looks for the hit, unfortunately misses out Dylan, who is just ahead of the ball, or the ball was just delivered right behind him. So this is where they need to understand the pace of each other and the pace of the players on the field, as CR come away with it once again.
Yes, CR now, but Royal doing well to commit those players back into defense, but now will try to launch a counter of their own.
Here comes Tanveer out to Pasindu, and unfortunately a poor pass by Pasindu, putting the team back under pressure. Harshdeep is there. Pasindu is now tracking the player, trying to get his best in, and here comes CR&FC once again through their number 14, trying to deliver it out to the corner, and the ball is stopped, and RCHC come away with it. Great aerial ball out there. Here comes Wasim now on his right side, moving right across the face of goal, getting into the D, but a great tackle there. Great defense on Wasim by that young number 23 for CR&FC. Just goes to show that there's very little that you can do if you have a great defensive position, and if you are out of position as a player. Well done there by Pasindu to strip the number 10 of that ball. And here they come, Ravindra Sampath Subasinghe once again out to Pasindu. Pasindu manages to weasel his way through. Great ball to her. Great ball to Tanveer. Tanveer tries a little bit of a fancy little stick work through the legs. Doesn't really make it work. Here he comes once again, Tanveer. moving across the face of goal, across the face of the great ball into the middle. Here comes Koda, wins the penalty corner. Perhaps drawn a little bit early by Dinesh Karan there, but still for all a penalty corner for RCHC.
Yes, a penalty corner for RCHC on the stroke of half-time. Having a word with the CR skipper as well. And one final opportunity in this half for RCHC to try and get a well-deserved goal. Like you said, Tushar, team, that synergy, that cohesion just not there at the moment, but hopefully that's something that they can work on as the league and as the season progresses. But for now, in probably what is the last move of this half, RCHC do have another penalty corner.
Yeah, it is commendable that they've got the foreign players involved and that they are doing and adding a lot of things. And there you go, the equalizer right on the stroke of halftime. Harshdeep finally getting the drag flick right, hitting the middle of the net at the back, and it's 1-1 here at the end, almost the end of the second quarter. And the first half, it's Royal College Hockey Club A1, CR&FC A1.
Yes, after knocking on the door for the past 30 minutes, RCHC finally getting a well-deserved goal. And yes, just as I say that half-time has been blown here at the AstroTurf. So exactly where we started, it's CR&FC 1, RCHC 1. And what we'll do now is we'll head into a short commercial break with the second half action of this interesting clash on the other side. Stay tuned with the Papare.
मैडम मेनू एक दकलावे කොල්ල मैडम විතර නේ මදකන් පවුලේ ඔක්කොම මදකන්
සමහර සිටුේෂන්ස් තියෙනවා එකිනෙකාට ෂෙයා කරගන්න බැරි තරමට කොම්ප්ලිකේටඩ්
සඳ පායන්න සරසී
This is Dr. Arjun Reddy Deshmukh. Medical profession కోపాన్ని కంట్రోల్ చేయలేని మనిషి ఒక సర్జికల్ బ్లేడ్ పట్టుకున్న మర్డర్తో సమానం.
இந்த உலகத்தில் இருக்கிற உயிர்கள்லயே மோசமானவன் மனுஷன்தான். ஜாதி பார்ப்பான்,
பெரிய சண்டியராண்டி,
மதம் பார்ப்பான்,
सनातन धर्म संस्कृति
just a little bit of
the ball really well here watching in Sri Lanka on ThePapare or Dialog TV.
Sri Lanka's #1 sports channel, ThePapare.
போட்ட ஜெட்டிய உள்பக்கமா திருப்பி துவைக்க கூட மாட்டான், அப்படியே போடுவான் உன் தம்பி.
சார், நான் பிரெக்னெண்டா இருக்கேன்.
ஐயோ டோட்டல் சிப் கரெக்ட் ஆயிடுச்சுப்பா.
எந்தன் பெரிய உலகம் உன் வெளியினில்.
Elevate your game with the Papare, Sri Lanka's ultimate sports destination. Together, we unite a nation through the love of sports. Tune in to the Papare, your home for all things sports. Live the action. Feel the excitement.
ఎరా స్కూల్ అయిపోయిందా?
అయిపోయింది నాన్న. కానీ నాకు డౌట్ నాన్న.
చెప్పరా, ఏ సబ్జెక్ట్ లో?
డౌట్ సబ్జెక్ట్ లో కాదు నాన్న,
మరి
నా డ్రాయర్ లో.
I hate my life, అరే కష్టాలకే రాఫు.
I hate my life నా లిరిక్స్ ఏంటి? ఈ సిగ్నేచర్ స్టెప్ ఏంటి? అసలు నీ ఫ్రస్ట్రేషన్ కారణం ఏంటి బ్రో? చెప్పు. అంబులెన్స్.
Elevate your game with the Papare, Sri Lanka's ultimate sports destination. Experience every heartbeat and every goal like never before. From cricket to football, rugby to athletics, we capture the spirit of every sport that ignites our passion. Relive legendary moments, exclusive interviews and expert commentary, all in one place. Join us for live coverage of thrilling matches and events, bringing you closer to the action. Together, we unite a nation through the love of sports. Tune in to the Papare, your home for all things sports. Live the action. Feel the excitement.
വിശ്വാസം വരണില്ലല്ലേ? ഈ കഥയ്ക്ക് അങ്ങനെ ഒരു കുഴപ്പമില്ല.
Just a little bit of width on offer, and he's got fast hands. They'll show.
ප්‍රබල පන්දුවක් කෙවර ප්‍රබල ඉල්ලීමක් නෑ පන්දුව කඩුලේ වදින්නේ ඒ අනුව සාර්ථකත්වයට පත් වෙනවා ඔබ තරමක් පිටින් දෙසට යනවා ඔහු කල්පියාම අපේක්ෂා කරන පන්දුව පිළිබඳව අවුත් පිළිබඳව
ඉහළින්ම පන්දුව එල්ල වෙනවා
කෙටි පන්දුවට ඉහළින් පාර ස්ථානගත කිරීම ලකුණු 4ක් on the Papare on Dialog TV
ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ අංක 1 ක්‍රීඩා නාලිකාව The Papare.
We are back live here at the AstroTurf with the Andriez Shield well underway. This is the fourth game for today that is coming to you live on the Papare, and it's RCHCA taking on CR&FC. And the game right now is in a precarious situation. It's deadlocked at 1 goal apiece, with CR&FC scoring early on in the game and RCHCA being able to convert their opportunities into a goal right on the stroke of half-time, with Harshdeep managing to get onto the boards for RCHCA. Nathan, interesting game ahead.
Yes, a very interesting game indeed, Tushar. RCHC have been dominating proceedings, but CR&FC have been more than happy to soak up their pressure. They seem to be a better side on the counter-attack. And after knocking on the door for the entirety of that first half, RCHC finally getting a deserved goal, and we have parity in this game, and that sets up a rather enticing second half here at the AstroTurf.
Yeah, it's interesting to see. I think that's beginning to gel a little bit more, and I think the players are also beginning to understand each other a little bit more. I expect to see a lot more of the passing game from Harshdeep in this half, because he seems to now have got the pace of the game as well. Unfortunately, he goes into a bad tackle situation. That is not what RCHC wants to see at this point in time.
Both players going down, holding their knees on that occasion. It's quite concerning for both sets of players and both teams, but thankfully Harshdeep is back on his feet and looks fit and ready, and yes, so is the CR&FC player.
I do believe there has been a card issue to Harshdeep at this point in time for that body check, if you will. It was a clash of knees, but Harshdeep's movement, I think, took him into the path of the CR player who had already dodged him. But here comes CR once again with RCHC once again on the left. Sends the ball in across the face of goal. No RCHC player able to get a stick on that. So both the foreign players now seem to be getting into the game and supporting and being able to provide the balls into the middle. It's now up to the rest of the players to make contact with that and ensure that they focus on their skill set and support these players.
Yes, sir, definitely. And something else I saw interesting during the halftime break was Tushar. I saw the CR&FC coach actually getting his shin pads on and his wrist gear on.
Absolutely.
So he might be making an appearance in this clash.
That'll be interesting to see, because I haven't seen Mario play in a little while. So it'll be good for him to play up against players he used to play up against with Nadit Kudagama, Sampath Subasinghe. All of these players played as well. There's a great opportunity they are created once again. RCHC not being able to capitalize as Subasinghe goes out. Ravindra Sampath Subasinghe goes out to collect the ball and bring it back into the field of play. Stalwarts, all of them, all knocking on the door of 50, but still able to play at the A division level, which speaks volumes for their fitness and conditioning.
Yes, sir, definitely isn't an easy job. As you get older, your joints do tend to tighten up, and it could be quite taxing on your body as well. But kudos to all these players that are on show, that are at an older age, and really running back the clock and helping the younger players fine-tune their craft in the meantime as well.
Absolutely right, and it's good to see them putting their skills to good use. As CR&FC breakaway now, down that left-hand flank, we've got a young defender there because Nelly is injured, but he does very well to disperses the CR player, and here he comes up with the ball. Needs some support to get the ball onto his stick, and here comes Nadit Kudagama. Unfortunately, does not manage to find a way through the CR defender. I think you can see the maturity in the play as well as they try to make their best out of it. As Wasim drops back into a position that is just outside the 25. They look for the ball. They are going down again down that right-hand side of RCHC as Harshdeep is back. Manages to get the ball out to Wasim. This is a great opportunity for him. Looks at it. Gets it. Just evades that player diving forward. Great shot, great play by Wasim. Sube unfortunately couldn't get his stick onto that ball. That would have been a great deflection goal. Look at this, just across the face of goal. Just not getting the bounce of the ball, beating the stick of Sampath Subasinghe. Unfortunate to get that glory goal and that glory movement on. But it looks like RCHC has started this half in the right fashion.
Yes, sir, definitely. And the CR defense was scrambling for a moment. They're all the oncoming player for RCHC needed was a touch, and the number 9 now for CR has done extremely well to bring play into the attack in 25 for his team. And now out on the right hand side, the Royal defense is scrambling, and unfortunately for him,
ball is given away. Great defense there by Pandi, shadowing the player, not over-committing to the tackle, ensuring that he just kept worrying that player to ensure that the ball came back as a huge aerial ball. Unfortunately, it's not in the right direction, just missing out on that whole piece as we look to see what they are going to get up to next, as the ball is once again delivered to the RCHCD. Let out of play by Pandi, using all his experience there. I believe that was Sati on the ball, the CR captain.
Yes, the experience really showing here for RCHC. been quite patient and willing to persist with their game plan as Harshdeep now with a daring run down the left and now is left out of possession. CR need quick ball here and they get exactly that with the number 9 now entering into that 25-meter area, but unfortunately the runner not getting there in time for CR&FC.
Scrambling defense there, somehow managing to get away to Dilan, and the ball is collected by Tanveer there, and Tanveer passes it out to Sanun Gajanayaka out on the right. Gaje tries to make his way in. He's tackled in possession. He needs to release the ball out fast. Dilan comes in to support him in midfield. As they try to get the ball away, then he puts it onto the foot of the player and manages to get a free hit. Really not the ideal situation for RCHC with so many players forward, as you can see. And you see Mario Joseph making his way onto the field wearing his number 5 jersey. And here he comes. So it will be good to see old matchups happening on the field again. Mario, of course, responsible in large for the revival of hockey at CR after 18 years. As we have once again an opportunity and a penalty corner given. Unfortunately, again, potential for advantage to be played. But the umpire deciding that it was a bit too much to do, as we see the CR captain Sati just having a quick discussion, a very cordial discussion with the umpire as to why that was given. And here we have that famous battery once again.
Yes, luckily for CR it was given. Hence I feel the discussion is cordial, because that ended up at the back of the net after the umpire had blown. So
absolutely right.
Probably the better outcome for the CR defenders on that occasion.
Absolutely right. A little bit too quick on the draw by the umpire. So I think they wouldn't be too protesting too much about that whole thing. As we see Tanveer, I believe, taking the injection in. Harshdeep is there as support in the first battery. Let's see what they do. Dilan to do the stop. And do we have Wasim on point for the first shot? I can't really make out the number of who's there. No, Wasim is out there and he does make a complete mess out of it. Absolute mess out of it. He's very lucky that the clearance by the number 11 for CR&FC, that's Kamil, was botched up as well. Because I think now they decided to change it around, give the ball to Wasim to do the injection. And Tanveer now comes out to a wide position.
It's comedy of errors on that occasion. The attacker and the defender both making a real meal out of things. But it's RCHC that come out on top with another penalty corner.
So they've gone with a simple battery right now, nothing too complicated. Wasim to inject and Harshdeep to take the drag flick. With Dilan to be the one who will help out with the stop. Beautifully done there by Harshdeep, making sure he counts. Amazing work there by the overseas player. Once again, a bullet of a shot. No chance there for the defense or the goalkeeper. Simplicity works. Great stop, great drag, powerful flick. The goalkeeper's hand was coming up, but it was past him before he knew it. So that's the second goal for Royal College Hockey Club, RCHC A, leading 2-1 against CR&FC A. And it's 8 minutes and change here in the third quarter as the Papare brings you the Andriez Shield live from the AstroTurf.
Yes, a deserved lead taken there for RCHC after knocking on the door. And CR&FC have conceded the momentum somewhat in this third quarter. And really crumbled under the relentless pressure by RCHC. And Harshdeep with an absolute bullet of a hit. And he has his second goal of this game. And now RCHC on the front foot, committing players forward, lurking in and around that D. And have the CR&FC defense scrambling. But do well to win a possession back. Do CR. And now they'll need a quick ball. Tries to shift it out right with that aerial ball. But unfortunately botches the collection. Does that player in the number 10 jersey. And yes, RCHC will win back possession. And that's a lightning fast ball into the D from Wasim. But CR did well to control that, and they have forced the turnover.
Once again, Nadit Kodagama pouncing on that. Anushanga up to the task as CR&FC come away with it on the right hand side. Look for the aerial ball, but not raised far enough. Not the greatest of balls as Manchi collects it and releases it down the left hand side. You got Dilan there making the ball move. Quick deflection out by Tanveer. Great work to Wasim. Wasim has the ball and Wasim makes a shot on goal, and there's a quick one, the penalty corner given once again. Sandun Gajanayaka was pouncing on the ball, but great work there by Wasim out on the left-hand side. Pivoting, turning around, making the ball speak. And Tanveer just gives him a quiet low five just to say thank you very much. Well done, great play. As Wasim goes in now for the injection to the battery. Wasim was all set to make sure that he took the shot in that initial penalty corner. But Tanveer's injection didn't really work all that well. So here comes Wasim now with the injection. Once again, a simple battery. Seems like a simple 1-2. And there's a call out by Dinesh Karan, the umpire, as he tells the call. And probably asking. I think Sati was having an inquiry about, what was the situation there. But let's see how it goes. Here comes Wasim with the injection. Once again, Hashdeep. And we have the third goal of the match. And it's a hat-trick for Hashdeep of penalty corners. Well done by Royal College Hockey Club A. Hashdeep finally making his net worth realized, because that's the third simplistic penalty corner, the most simple one you can think of. And that puts CR&FC down by 3-1 against Royal College Hockey Club A. Great work, simple work. Here we go. There, Wasim in, not the greatest stop, but Hashdeep manages to collect it. And once again, power. Before the goalkeeper can get down on his left, it's already sound in the board. So it's 3-1 in favor of RCHCA. And CR&FC now have a little bit of a mountain to climb if they're going to get it. And Hashdeep seems to be thoroughly invigorated and playing. He needs to now watch himself and not get too over enthusiastic as Mario tries to take control of the game. Caught up by Dylan. Great tackle. And Hashdeep sends a lovely aerial ball right over the top, targeting Wasim out there on the left. But well collected there by the number 15 for CR&FC, I believe, Anushanga. They try to come away with it. Enough and more defenders out there. Not great control on that flick or drag across to his right. Unfortunately, Sati coming in with a little bit of a body check there on Wasim. Just trying to get under the skin. I believe a little bit of gamesmanship coming into play. That kind of deflection doesn't help anyone, and Pasindu has just given the ball away to CR&FC, and it's hopeful that he can track back as fast as he possibly can. That young defender, the number 21, makes a good tackle, but unfortunately it's blown against him as CR&FC come away with it with Nalaka. Nalaka tries to get away with it at a 1-2 with his number 23, and in result Hashdeep is now bringing the ball in, trying to get the cross across. There's a defensive deflection, and the number 14 for CR comes away with it. Ultimately that's Udit. Unfortunately not that. Dylan has the ball now in charge. Tries to get it to Falul. Pasindu was open, but unfortunately Falul was marked at that point in time. And here comes CR once again.
Yes, so CR now with some possession inside the Royal half. And wrong foot in Hashdeep, but thankfully that defender was there to cover up for his teammate. And RCHC absolutely relentless in this third quarter. Aren't they, Tushar?
Absolutely right. A little bit of great individual skill by Nalaka shown there. And now the ball comes away with Bandara, who sends a long ball out, but well read by Pandi there once again at the back. And Dylan now out to Charla, I believe. Yes, and the ball is sent upfield. And Tanveer is calling out for it. And he has got the ball. A little bit of argy-bargy going on there. Yes, a green card being shown at this point in time for the body check. Quite right, because there was a lot of freedom of movement there, and had Tanveer got that ball, Falul got that ball, he would have gone through. Ajib sends the ball in at a pace. Unfortunately, the deflection takes it away. The angle was a bit too wide for Wasim to be able to deflect it in. If it had been more towards the left-hand post, that would have worked. But as it is, it goes out for a long corner, so they take it from the 25, as is the way of the game right now, and up comes Hashdeep to take the ball.
There's another attack in opportunity for RCHC. Interestingly, chooses to go all the way back. Does Hashdeep, and that man...
This is where Pandit's power will come into play. Unfortunately, the hit doesn't really work this time around. His injection running up from the fullback position usually is very powerful. And that brings to a close the third quarter. We were so engrossed, we were not even able to watch the clock. So the third quarter comes to an end with Royal College. No, it doesn't. We are still continuing at this point in time.
And yes, now the
Finally,
umpire finally, after teasing us just a little bit there, Tushar, has blown for the end of this third quarter, where RCHC have well and truly come into the ascendancy. 2 goals, 2 lightning bolts of a strike from Harshdeep has seen them take a well-deserved lead, a 3-1 advantage against CR&FC, who have sort of been phased out of this game, have been shut down, and it's all one-way traffic here at the AstroTurf at the end of the third quarter.
Absolutely right. So the third quarter comes to an end with a 3-1 lead for RCHCA against CR&FC, and even with the introduction of Mario into the midfield, where he has been a midfield general for his school, St. Peter's, and indeed for CR&FC over the years, and has played at national level as well. I think the thing that they are finding is that they are finding it difficult to deal with the pass balls into the D delivered by RCHC from the back to Harshdeep, and then the stick skills of people like Navid Kudagama, Sandhu Gajanayaka inside the D, as well as people like Wasim, who are making it difficult for them and earning them the penalty corners, which are now being converted by RCHC into goal opportunities.
Yes, definitely. RCHC finally getting what they deserve. They are reaping the rewards for all their hard work. They've been relentless, haven't they? They haven't given up. They went nearly an entire quarter without finding a score. But credit to them where credit is due. They've been relentless. They've stuck to their basics. They've stuck to their plans, and they have reaped the due dividends at the end of it.
Yes, and I think there's now a nice rhythm about the game that RCHC is playing at this point in time. The understanding is far better. The appreciation is better. And it's always the case when this kind of change happens that it takes a little bit of game time to make sure that you get the balance going and the rhythm going right. And I think that has now come to the fore, and the fact that they are in the lead now will settle a lot of the nerves, and they can play a far more open, spirited and controlled game than they did in the first quarter, where they seem to be snatching at things a little bit, but seems to be a much more settled side. Complacency is one thing they should avoid. They should be able to reap more rewards if they continue with this pattern of play.
Yes, definitely, and they do have somewhat of a free play in this final quarter, as Wasim turns that defender, leaves him absolutely helpless, and sends a flashing ball across. No willing runner, and CR scrambling once again in defense. And like I was saying, Tushar, this is a good opportunity for RCHC. They have somewhat of a free play. They have a 2-goal cushion going into the final 15 minutes. They maybe can experiment a bit as well and try and get that cohesion going between them and their new players.
Absolutely right, and I think it's working right now because they are playing their roles as distributors, which is creating the opportunities and allowing the other people to work on them. So long aerial ball, unfortunately not read very well. Mario was trying to get on the end of that, couldn't really do much with it because it was way over his head as well, and he's quite a tall player in his own right. As we have the team coming up now, and once again a great intercept attempt there, which is deflecting the ball away from Falul, as we see once again CR&FC coming forward, and Pandi now taking the ball away. Very well played there. Great defensive work. Passes it out to Manchi. Out again. And we have Harshdeep on the ball. 3 players on him. He sends the ball outright. Has great support there from Nadit Kudagama. Pushes it through. Gets it stuck in the goalkeeper's pads and will end up earning a penalty corner. Potentially a stroke, but penalty corner is what he has to settle for.
It's a brilliant individual skills on display there. Turning that defender and nearly turning the goalkeeper as well. And luckily for CR, the goalkeeper just managing to get nudge himself between the flow and that ball. And it'll only be a penalty corner to RCHC, but another opportunity for Harshdeep to unleash one of those rockets.
Absolutely right. It was debatable whether there was a player lying on top of the ball just before the goalkeeper as well. Thankfully, he scrambled out of the way, so the benefit of the doubt goes to the defender in that situation. And we have yet another injection coming in from Wasim. We have now 3 players on Falul on the left, but it comes again. Good save. Bit of a nothing shot.
Yes, a good double save there by the goalkeeper, and the defense was scrambling for CR, and they do well to win the turnover there. Was looking like another threatening attack from RCHC. Did well on the rebound too, but a good double save by the keeper, and the defense completing the job.
Pasindu doing well on defense. They are shadowing the player, making sure he goes down there. Fortunately, the long ball to Wasim doesn't really work. Intercepted out there by the number 17 for CR&FC. Great work by Bandara to bring it up, send it down the line. We have RCHC defending, not really stopped by the number 10. Golden opportunity for Nalaka there. That well and truly beaten was Dylan, and the ball came in. Great ball right down the middle of the D, across the middle of the D. Nobody there to collect it for CR. Bandara was in the best possible position as Pandi brings the ball up once again.
Yes, CR attack looking absolutely toothless in front of the RCHC defense. I don't think they've even won a penalty corner in the last 2 quarters, which speaks volumes of how this RCHC defense has come to the party. And especially after conceding that early advantage, they didn't get jittered by that, and that maturity really has shown. Didn't really lose focus, and they've pulled their socks up, and they put in a massive defensive effort, which has really allowed the attacking players the freedom to go out there and score those goals for their team.
Yes, and I think much credit should be given to Pandi at the back, where in number 23, he's been an absolute rock in defense, keeping everyone at bay, controlling that defensive line. And there's a quick blowout there by the referee as Dylan is given the ball. A little bit of haji-baji there between Manch and them. So Pandi has really been a rock in defense, positional play, controlling the defense, distribution has all been great, and even attacking from the back, he has been instrumental. And it's been a double whammy because of that, because the fact that RCHC is pressuring them so much up front, as you can see with the dribbling skills of people like Kudagama, easily earning that penalty corner and being able to work on this. So Sati once again having a quiet little discussion with the umpire. Nothing really to be taken care of. There's a call. Post.
Yes, asking very threatening questions are RCHC, and like I was saying a few moments ago, I don't think that was the best of decisions from the captain of CR&FC, Tushar Sati, losing his cool, having a bit of too much of a word with the referee and not leading by example, which is not good signs for CR&FC, and he has been sent off. You'd expect your leader on the field to show a lot more maturity than that.
That is absolutely right, and that's what they need to be able to do. So while you can raise your point with the umpire, there's a limit to how much you can actually make your point. So unfortunately, it is there. So we'll have a quick look at that penalty corner, the fourth goal. Here it comes. Great injection, and this time they decide to let Wasim have it, and he goes for the straight hit, goes to once again the left-hand side of the goalkeeper. They seem to have exposed him on that side, so Wasim gets on the board as well.
Yes, both foreign players shining bright for RCHC, sharing the goals, but it's interesting to note that RCHC haven't been able to get a goal in from open play. They've all been from penalty corners, and the venom on those shots from these RCHC forwards is absolutely no match for the CR defense, but they'd want to improve that cohesion and try and orchestrate a few goals from open play as well, because the penalty corners will be few and far between possibly in future games.
Absolutely right, and as a defender that has got to hurt. That missed shot that landed right on the glove has got to hurt, as here comes Harshdeep bringing the ball once again up. Hopefully the icing on the cake for RCHC will be an open field goal if they can manage one of those. Again a cross field ball out to Gaje, but defended out again. Sandun Gajanayaka out there on the right, getting into the right positions. Unfortunately, the shot is not on target, ball deflected out, and they have a field goal opportunity. So here comes Harshdeep once again, looking to provide the ball in, the magic ball into that D. Here comes Tanvir. Once again, defended out. And is that yet another penalty corner?
Appears to be, yes. The defenders going in and reaching for their protective gear. So another penalty corner given to RCHC. Just feeding into their strengths are CR&FC at the moment, and another opportunity to add the fifth goal with about 10 minutes or so left in this game. A 5-goal cushion would really put the cherry on top for RCHC in this game.
Absolutely. With this kind of success rate in the penalty corners since the second quarter onwards, I think RCHC are well vindicated in being able to get those penalty corners and turn them into scoring opportunities. Now they have another opportunity.
Yes, trying something fancy on that occasion. RCHC not going for the direct shot, but not coming away with it.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit of proportional representation there, allowing others to actually take shots onto goal and try to get that onto get. And so Tanvir there being given the opportunity. Once again, collection, body position are crucial and key in those situations. When you collect the ball with your back to goal in that situation, control is key. As Harshdeep once again gets the ball, it's cleared up the field. You have Wasim out on the left, and he has the opportunity, and he sends a thundering shot sailing high over the crossbar. Any place kicker in the world in rugby would be proud of that.
Yes, definitely. Tushar, venomous shot there from Wasim, and he's a really strong lad, isn't he? Lightning fast shots, and lucky for CR, none of them have gotten hurt off of them.
Absolutely right. So he just generates a lot of power, and it's a lot to do with his timing as well. And if you look at him, he's like a slim lad, but he does generate a lot of power in his play. A little bit of skill being tried out there on the left hand side by that CR number 23, and we have Sarla trying to do the same. Unfortunately not doing that yet. Harshdeep's tracking back with that CR player. Great skill shown there, little bit of 3D skill. Unfortunately going up against the leg of the player who's defending, the number 21, the young player who's playing out on the right hand side after Nelaka got injured. But he's doing a tremendous job out there on the right. So Nelaka might well be trying in contention to get back into this side, as he now have an opportunity inside the D. Unfortunately not controlled well by this CR&FC player. However, there is no TV umpire, as Harshdeep seems to be requesting. It is not something that they will have.
Yes, Harshdeep protesting with the umpire at the moment. But like you said, don't have the privilege of the TMO. But slowly but surely the infrastructure for these games improving, Tushar. This is the first time that we are bringing these club matches live to you. Hopefully in the near future we should have that facility for these players and officials alike.
Absolutely. Going forward, I think we at RCHC also are in charge of one of the largest girls tournaments, which is going to be played over a couple of days in August, and we are already in contention with discussions with Papare on that to provide the coverage. So this year we hope to provide the TMO facility as well in that tournament. It's about 76 plus teams that are taking part. Papare has been partnering with this tournament for the past 2 years, and this will also be another year that we might probably get on board with that. So it will be good to see what can be bought as an advancement in the game for that tournament.
Yes, sir.
And a penalty corner has finally been awarded.
Yes, sir. So you could say another one final opportunity rather for CR&FC to try and bring some respectability into that scoreline. Losing 4-1 at the moment, they'd love to have a second goal just for a little confidence boost as a newly promoted side as well.
Absolutely right. They did really well in the earlier game. I think they beat their opponents 4-2. But here it comes. I think it's coming now to Mario. Mario comes with it, the flick. Unfortunately, not enough power in that shot at all by Mario. They're trying to do that. They win another penalty corner. I think that has gone up against the leg of the defender.
Yes, indeed it has. As we take a look at that replay, yes, just not enough power generated by Mario there on that occasion. Easiest of saves for the goalie, but conceding another penalty corner, RCHC, and another opportunity with just a little over a minute left on our clocks for CR&FC to try and get that second goal and try and salvage some respectability from this game.
Not much pace in Mario's movement. Here comes the shot, and the goal is scored finally by CR&FC. A little bit of a consolation goal there. Nice movement out. Moved to Nalaka. That was pretty obvious from the failure of the first attempt. Mario was going to move that ball out wide. And here comes Nalaka. Look at that. Both the rushers coming on the first battery alone. Nobody there looking at the number 10. Left wide open for that shot on goal.
Yes, sir. That's the second time the RCHC defense has been found guilty of not marking that extra player. That's how they conceded the first goal as well, and that's something that they'll have to work on in the coming weeks, Tushar.
Absolutely right, and because it's a nine-a-side game, it's easy to forget that second striker, the floating right-hand side player, which has been a thorn in the RCHC defense during this game at least. Hopefully they'll be able to handle that better in the coming games. Can RCHC now produce a goal out of open field play? Seems to be some good movement out on the right. Great ball in. One of the younger players on the side now. Here he comes, trying to do a reverse stick shot. Open play. Somebody needs to move in there. Wrong angle, wrong gap. It needed to go to the right, to the left of that defender, not to the right. That was where the gap was created, and that was where Sampath Subasinghe was waiting for that ball for the deflection. Unfortunately, once again, the shot hooked by that young player from RCHC. Here comes Harshdeep once again. Ball in hand, out to Wasim. Ball back out to the top of the D. Once again, a thundering shot over the crossbar. Control of these shots is something that the other forwards in the RCHC lineup will need to really work on. CR defense completely stretched. Once again, a good shot, but just no direction at all. Here comes CR once again.
It's long ball over the top, unable to control it is the RCHC defense, and now a 3-on-2 here inside the D of RCHC, but the players doing well to come back and help out their teammates. Again, RCHC showing some good physicality, showing some good endurance. They were back into their own D in a flash to commit to the defense, weren't they, Tushar?
Yeah, absolutely right. And great work there by Sandhu Gajanayaka as well, tracking back to help his defense, ensuring that CR didn't have a clear run in the midfield and forcing the error. Well intercepted there by Pasindu. If he gets the ball out left to Wasim, which he does very well, and there is a man there inside. Tanvir, he needs the ball in. Unfortunately, wrong angles once again by Tanvir. He needed to get on an angle where he could get the deflection of an earlier ball. Also might have helped. Look at where he is. He's way outside, about a good 3 meters outside the post. It's very difficult to get any kind of deflection into goal. Oh, wow. It's a bit of hurdling being done.
It's interesting to see what the referee's decision is. They are clattered into that number 6 player, the goal scorer
Absolutely
for CR&FC.
Yeah, let's look at that replay once again. Let's see what happened. The ball was raced into the face of the player and he barged into the player and went over him. So I'm sure there is nothing more beyond just something that's a free hit. Very good call by the umpire. Absolutely nothing. Munchie wore that ball on his face and just clattered into him. He just got into a wrong defensive position. No malice, no intent in that tackle at all. And
Yes,
that is now being worked out. So they're continuing to play. He's saying off the stick.
Common sense did prevail at the end of it there on that occasion, as the referees have blown for full time in this fourth and final match of week 2 of the CHL Hockey League for 2025, and it's RCHC on show, showing their full potential here with a commanding 4-2 victory over the newcomers CR&FC. Both their foreign players getting on the score sheet will be a great boost of confidence for them as well going forward in this league.
Absolutely, and it's something that they need to work on as well, with the other forwards for RCHC being a little bit more involved in the game, and perhaps that synergy will emerge far better as the game goes on. So it's RCHC A, 4-2 victors over CR&FC A here at the Andriez Shield League Tournament organized by the Colombo Hockey Association at the Astro. So that's it as far as the coverage for tonight is concerned. And we will now hand you over back to the Papare for the other broadcast that we have with you. Join us again for more coverage in hockey and other sports from Papare, from around the nation. My name is Hetty, signing off.
And yes, I'm Nathan Coggins, and on behalf of the entire technical production and commentary team for the Papare, it's thank you and good night from the AstroTurf.
Stand by for opener.
Sri Lanka's #1 sports channel, ThePapare.
3, 2, 1, roll.
ඉතින් ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ අංකික ක්‍රීඩා නාලිකාව ThePapare සමග.
Welcome back to ThePapare.
Welcome to the live broadcast from ThePapare.
Good luck, guys. Good luck, everyone.
The Papare, Sri Lanka's #1 television sports channel.